Hello,
So,
everyone. Welcome to team training, November 19th, 2020. We haven't been on for a little while. It's been like at least, I don't know, like a month or something. We had some scheduling conflicts or whatever, so it doesn't matter. We're here now. Some of us had the pleasure of going to Cabo as a summit. I don't know what you would call it, if it was a summit or I don't know, training, whatever it was. But some of us here got to go to Cabo. I had super FOMO. It just did not work out for us logistically. And as much as I tried to not look at people's pictures, I still did. And, every time I was like, man, dang it, come on. So, anyways, it looked amazing. But we asked some people that were there to come on tonight and just share some of their takeaways from the trip, just how they're feeling coming back from that, like how is that going to impact their future business and how they look at what they're doing. So, Heather, we have you lined up first.
all right. Um, well, Jason, real quick, I always have FOMO when I look at your pictures. So if that's, um, you know, helps for any of it. So I was looking at your pictures while I was in Cabo. So, um, anyways, so a couple takeaways I had. First of all, just gonna say if you have a chance to do things with, um, anything you're ever in, whether you're in Aptivia or any company, you always should take advantage of any conference, trip, um, event. It always should be a rock in your schedule. Obviously, sometimes things come up, you can't get off work, whatever the case may be, but it really should be, you should try every way possible to get there. Just because it is a learning experience, it's a life experience. It could be that thing that changes your life. Um, I myself took my husband who needed that life change. Um, so I'm hoping that that's who got something out of it more than I did. So we will see. Um, Already I have had him give me a little couple nuggets that he has. We all know that this has changed a lot of people's lives. I'm sure you've heard on trainings. Other people that aren't in our little group have told their stories, and there was a couple that touched his life or his heart, from things that he's went through in his life. So that's kind of what I was looking for. So anyway, it's just something I just want to reiterate to you guys. If you haven't went to things before, it really is, you really need to just, make it work, make it happen. You need to do it. So, the one thing, because I know some of you personally, I know some of you through Optavia, but this is something that Corey Baker said, and seeing these people that we see on trainings, boot camps, that like seeing them in real life and meeting them and knowing that they're real people like you and I is something that just means a lot. But I want to leave you guys with this, and I'm not going to keep talking, but this is my last thing to tell you is I wrote this down and start it. Stop focusing on how stuck you are and focus on what is on the other side.
That's so good. Good job, Heather. That's that's awesome. I totally agree though, even though I didn't make this event, but going to events is one of the biggest things because it just puts you in that like bubble, right? But then it also builds your belief and helps you kind of see a bigger dream and see a bigger picture, that when we're just at home in our room, stuck in our room on our phone having conversations, we don't always get that. So that's great. And then yes, what you focus on grows, right? So if you focus on all the things that aren't going your way, all the things that are obstacles, or if you focus on where you're going, that's really going to keep you much more motivated. So I love that. Awesome. Thanks, Heather. All right, Mary,
Hey guys. Um, this was a big trip for us. We kind of went through some COVID stuff right before and struggled a little bit with some sickness and so it was a well needed getaway and kind of recharge. That was our word. We chose recharge and refocus. Um, my husband and I went. My husband has, a lot of you guys know us, but my husband's always kind of sat in the background and helped me and supported me, but has not been that face for the business. And he caught the bug. And so it's been really cool. He got to meet a lot of the other male coaches that there was like other couples that coached together, and so he got to kind of pick their brains. So it was really neat to see him like figuring out how he wanted to share and show up since we've been home, and so that was cool. But one thing that I picked up, I totally agree with Heather. If you can go on these any kind of event, being around this community, it makes it where you just want to be a better person. You just want to show up for your people, you want to show up for your coaches, and you just want to be a better person. And I think with all of this, like you said, Jason, with all of us just sitting, isolated, it can be very easy to get in our own head and in our own space. One thing that someone said is if you're praying for rain, you need to carry an umbrella. Believe in it and do it until the umbrella is needed. I've been bringing my umbrella with me a lot in my work now. So I'm like, you know what? If I'm praying to build a business, then I have to do the work that's going to bring that rain shower. And when the rain shower comes, I have to know how to use that umbrella instead of just saying, oh, that's it, and going and hiding in the closet. So that was kind of my takeaway. You can't help yourself until you help others. That was big. Like the whole thing with the air mask and, help yourself first before you help the person next to you. And I think that helped me with my growth mentality. That was a big thing for me.
I've totally
Anyone
noticed Kevin more on social media. He's been popping up on my feed. I love seeing that.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
he loves it.
It's really cool. I love it. And that quote, like, if you're praying for rain, bring an umbrella until it comes, like, man, that's really good. Because otherwise you're just like, oh, it's not going to rain. I don't need this. Why would I even bring this? It's not going to rain for me today. Like, we'll just leave this here instead of just saying,
the crazy part
it's going to happen.
Is they said in Cabo, it only rains 4 times a year, but every one of our rooms had an umbrella in the closet.
Just in case, because it's going to happen.
They were ready for
it. I love it. It's so good. Thanks for sharing. All right.
Absolutely.
Tammy.
They took them. It's okay. So I'm glad that we all can like come away with some solid points because I agree on both of the things that Heather and Mary said. And honestly, I was going to start with the umbrella comment because so often we pray for something, but we're really not ready to go out into the rain, right? We're not ready to go out and keep ourselves sturdy. So there was so much greatness in every aspect. Like Wayne and Courtney Pendle, they were really good. They got up and talked about mainly just keeping things simple and doing things one step at a time. Like Wayne said he had a client that called him on day 4 that was like, I'm out of snacks. And the client goes, and he's like, I'm pretty sure there's no popcorn in the starting kit. And she's like, no, I'm out of snacks. Like she was referring to her feelings as her snacks. So I don't know what she did, but she was all gone on day 4. So mainly it's just in coaching your clients and then coaching your coaches. Keep it simple. Don't fire hose people on too much stuff. And then Corey talked about, how a lot of people did a sailing excursion, which is great for them, for a non motion sickness person. Super excited for people like that. But he talked about how water messes with your depth perception, where sometimes when you're on the water and you're looking out at something, it seems like that what you're looking at seems like it's really close, but in reality, it's really far away. And sometimes that depth perception will mess with you. And then you'll sit and analyze that, how far away you are. And then what will happen is you will just become stuck. The more you sit and analyze how far away you are, will you turn around? Or are you going to keep going no matter what? And it's figuring out that, okay, I'm going to do that, and why it is that you want to get to that goal and why it's so important to you, which is all founded on your why. And then last thing is I'll mention, is Heather Wallace mentioned two things that I like absolutely loved, but essentially, and this comes back to goals, but not necessarily being attached to the outcome, but attaching yourself to the obedience of what will produce those outcomes. So making your power posts, talking to your clients, sharing program, living your health journey in every aspect. Like all of those are the obedience of doing what we do, and the outcome will come, but they won't come without being obedient to those. So I will stop before I take all of Kate's too.
I love it. And those are so good. You know, it's different, right? This is not a job. This is not like you show up and you get paid. And, you know, sometimes you work, as long as you just kind of show up and are there, clocked in, you might get paid. This is the business. This is totally different. This is, you got to do work, and then you'll get the pay on the other end. And sometimes that's personal work, like Mary's talking about, like putting that air mask on yourself and working on yourself. Sometimes that's just doing the you, like Heather was talking about, that Tammy mentioned. Like, you just commit to that. You commit to saying, I'm going to do this. And doing this doesn't mean a rank. It doesn't mean, you know, like you're just only focused on your ultimate goal. Doing this means I'm going to do the work to create that. And that's the big difference, right? Is you've seen it enough, you know that this can happen at whatever level it is that you want. You know, because you could see all those people that are on Zoom, that are on stage, and you're like, if they can do it, I can do it, right? But we get so hung up on not seeing the results in our own timeline. Like, yeah, do I want to have 10 conversations and have 5 clients come from it? Sure. Is that reality? No. It doesn't work like that. You know, so you just have to continually focus and be consistent. Like, consistent is the biggest word in a business like ours, is being consistent. So that's great, Tammy. All right. Kate, come on. Let's hear it.
Well, there's nothing like going last and having a whopping 2 hours in a classroom versus the days that we spent with School by the Pool. And so I was also going to talk on some of the main points that you guys got. I was going to take, you know, the depth perception. There were these most amazing rocks that were down the beach, and it didn't look like they were far away. And we very quickly, after we did an ATV excursion, said, we've got to go get pictures by these rocks. Let's run down there real quick. And as we kept walking in the steep sand, it was a long freaking way. So Mary, I completely understand. You're like, can we make that 1 mile walk? Like, it was worth like 4. It really was. And so case in point, just what Tammy was saying, is sometimes the road is longer, even though you know where you're going. It sometimes takes you a little bit longer to get there. And sometimes you have to walk on the sand that is soft, and sometimes you have to walk on the sand that is covered in shells that cut your feet. But you just have to keep walking. And you will get to that end destination point, and it will be beautiful. And then you're going to turn around and decide, where am I going to go next? So there's other beautiful things beyond those rocks. I just couldn't make it any further, and we had to get dressed. So anyway, something that I will also touch upon that really was pivotal, I think, for a lot of coaches. So I guess I was kind of like the big mama bear there. So Big Daddy and the beard couldn't make it this time. So it was really awesome spending time with our group of people that were there, and really understanding and watching how far people have come personally because this trip really was more about your personal growth versus the business side of things, because we all know how to acquire clients. We learn how to do that. That's really, really simple. But starting to come into your own and starting to have your eyes opened to the bigger picture and being able to do that on one of the most beautiful places that I have been. I loved how somebody in our group had said that instead of thinking of this as a trip of a lifetime, it's the beginnings of many lifetime trips where, let's be real, the bar has been raised as far as what I'm going to be looking for at the next place that I go, because wow, this place was, I can't even explain. But I think the best times were when we were in the water or by the water and just having those conversations of where are we going, what are we working through, where are you currently at, and how are you going to make those next steps for yourself, and then translate that into your business. So we were very lucky to have time with a lot of people that you do see on Zoom, or maybe people that you don't know their name, but you know their face. They were there and they're all a part of our group. And it's crazy how, like Heather said, these people that you're just like, oh, but when you're in this little tight community, how amazingly real that you can just have a conversation with, like Raquel Huntsberger and I, we were just in the pool for like half hour talking, just her and I. It was wonderful. Usually you would not have that type of time to spend with some people. And so something that Tabitha knows very well is we've been around for a while, and Jason's been around for a while, and it used to be a lot smaller. And so it was just this night, it felt just like that. It felt like the beginnings before we really caught the bug. And it was just, there are no words. And the only way that you can ever experience that is to work for it and freaking go. So best trip ever. And yes, I was the sunscreen police, and there were a lot of people that heard about that. So just to let you know, my role was, I was there.
And I did not get sunburned. I appreciate you.
Love you, girl.
She legit told me I had to stand in the shade.
I love
You
it.
might have messaged me in my room and said, put your sunscreen on before you come out, please. 30 minutes before you come out.
It's so great. If Tabitha
Sometimes you
was
just need to
there,
know.
she would have got burned. I just know it.
Oh no, she wouldn't have. No.
No, nobody gets
Okay,
burned.
first
Oh.
off, this girl lives outside now and gets a really nice tan going on working in the country. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And Kate would spray you down with suntan lotion, whether you needed it or not. So you'd be good. She's got your back, girl.
You always
Okay, so
need sunscreen.
this is totally off subject. And we have actually one more person that said they're willing to share. So I'm going to bring Shelly on. But there are they're like a pill, or they're like a strip that you can take, and it's sunscreen. So it's ingestible, and you take it, and our friend that told us about this is super like granola, like she's super hippie. But anyways, it sounds super cool. Like, I'm down with it. I know I could see all your faces where you're like, but I am. All right. So thank you,
try
Kate.
it first. You try it
I will.
first.
I'll totally try it first. The one thing I want to say, though, is as much as I love seeing the growth of Optavia, and obviously it's going to keep growing, I do miss that, like, the old, it was just such a tight-knit thing. But here's the thing. What's cool is we get to create our own version of that, right? Each of us do. We all have that choice. And just creating that own culture for ourselves. I love that. So that's great. And I wrote something else down, and I don't understand what I wrote down, so I'm just gonna not try to explain that because I don't know what I'm not quite sure what it meant. But Shelly, you can come on and share your takeaways. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, so I may not seem like the persona that I put on that I am an introvert, but I am kind of like one of those introvert extroverts. So I am very flexible back and forth. It was really easy for me to just kind of sit with me and my husband and my friends, these peeps that went with me, and not get out of my own way. But I did have the privilege of going a day or 2 days earlier than some people. And I had an opportunity to sit and talk to Dan and Megan. And I was relaying to Dan that I was struggling with the way that we were being served at this resort. So if you guys don't know anything about LeBlanc, they will do everything for you. And they're so happy to do everything for you. And when we got there, I felt so bad for this poor, like, bellboy that was delivering suitcases to rooms. He had this huge cart of suitcases, and then we had 3 pieces of luggage and 2 backpacks, and he's trying to like strap all this stuff on him and push this big thing and go into this freight elevator. And I'm like, no, I got it. It's okay. I can push my own suitcase. It's on wheels. I've got it, you know. And, you know, I almost found myself like falling over myself to apologize to him while he's just trying to do his job. And when I really kind of sat down and told Dan about this, it really made me realize that I struggle with imposter syndrome a lot. And I don't feel deserving of all of the things sometimes. And I think a lot of us deal with that we don't feel like we're deserving of the businesses that we're growing or the lives that we're living or the dreams that we're dreaming. And the cool thing about being in an event like this, and Heather's completely right, go. This is nothing like going to convention. This is so like you're sitting at somebody's house. And, you know, you see these people on screens and you put them up on pedestals and you think, these people are rock star, superstar Hollywood, right? And we chase them around at convention and we want to get pictures with them. And when you go to an event like this, you realize that they're just people like us. They're no better, they're no worse. They come from different parts of the country. And they are just as damaged and brittle and strong and weak and sob storied as all of the rest of us. They just put their heads down. They looked up once in a while. Who was it that said that? Was it Josiah that said that? He put his head down.
Yep.
And he just looked up once in a while to see that he was going in the right direction. Then he put his head down again. And he peeked up again, and you just keep putting your head down and you just keep doing the work over and over and over again. And eventually you start to realize that you are worthy and you aren't different and you do have all of the same skills. And when you don't, you ask questions and you put your head down again. And I think that's the one thing that I took away from this, is that I am not any different than I thought I was different. I'm not that special. I'm just another person out there contending. So that was my biggest takeaway, that every single person that I talked to, that I walked up to, was very welcoming, very wrap their arms around you, want to be your best friend, invite you into their cabana, sit with you by the pool. They're no different than any of us. So I don't have anything special. Kate doesn't have, Kate, you're not special. I'm sorry. Yes, I love you, but yeah. You know, we're not any less special than anybody else, and we all have it within us to do all of these amazing things that all of these other people are doing.
That's so good. That's the perfect way to end it. There's no reason that you don't deserve to be successful. There's no reason that you don't deserve a better life. No matter what happened in the past, right? No matter what your previous life looked like, we all deserve to be happy. We all deserve to have whatever it is that we want. And the cool part too is that we can help all those other people that deserve a better life get there. So that is the perfect way to end it. I actually had something I was going to share at the end, but I don't think it's going to add any more value than you guys just did. So awesome job. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for all your takeaways from Cabo. And let's make sure that we are all there next year. All right. Everybody have a great night.